What is up, everybody? So today we're in the garage. As you can see, looks horrible. Look at the walls. We have this car in here. All these toolboxes. So right now we recently moved in here. We want to organize everything, remodel the inside of the house. But first things first. I want to start with the garage. I want to make a rack, and I will show you guys why. So I have this trailer out here that it's actually a Harbor Freight trailer that I built. As you can see, Harbor Freight trailer that I built. Put these walls on it. I need to sand them down, paint them, so it'll last a while. But from where I moved from, I took all this lumber. It was actually sitting outside for a long time, so a lot of it started to rot. But I'm trying to save what I can. But I'm actually going to be needing this trailer for a job here in a couple days. So I need to get all this wood out of here, and I have nowhere to put it. I can put it out in the backyard, which I'm kind of blocking the door, and I have to get my truck out here and pull the trailer up, move a bunch of vehicles. Which I kind of don't want to do. And also, I just don't want to make the same mistake of leaving all this wood outside and just letting it go to waste. I had so much wood that I just completely let go to waste. That was great wood. I'm talking 2x12s, 2x10, 16 foot. Had an LVL beam outside that I still need to go pick up, actually. But all this wood I want to save. But it's not all gonna go in the rack. But I want to put it inside of my garage. Get it outside of the elements, and whenever I get a chance to work on it, sand it back down, maybe plane it, go ahead and take care of that. But as you can see, I don't really have the room, and I actually had the trailer in here, but I took it out. This whole garage needs to be redone. All this drywall, honestly, probably needs to be taken down or just, redone properly. Here I have my miter saw, table saw set up. We're gonna be building some racks. So we're gonna be sandwiching a 2x4, some blocks of 2x4s out of the plywood. And I actually started this project yesterday. I didn't like how it came out yesterday, so I'm redoing it again today. And I'm gonna do it better. So hopefully y'all can follow and do the same. But yeah, basically what I wanna do is I wanna make 3 of the racks that I'm gonna build. I'm gonna put one somewhere over here, another one here in the middle, and another one there about, I think, 12 feet wide. So we're gonna have 0, we're gonna have one at 6 foot, and then we're gonna have another one at 12 foot. What we're gonna start with is this plywood over here. Originally what I did is I cut out these 2x4s. I cut out 6 of them. Actually, I think I only did 4, but anyways, I cut out these 2x4s, put blocks in between like this, put one here, put another one there, and then put a 2x4 sticking out. And that's basically it. That's what your rack is. Maybe I'll put a picture over here so it kind of makes more sense as I'm explaining it. But one, I only made it 4 feet tall. 4 feet tall because I'm gonna put it above here because I think I'm probably gonna build, like I said, a workbench right there. 4 feet tall. Depending on how you're going to use it, you can build it all the way from the ground if you have the space, all the way up, and actually have it sitting on the ground. I'm going to bolt it onto the studs on the sheetrock. Alright, so we have our 6 strips. They're going to be in pairs. This is one set, another set right there. Now it's time to cut out some 2x4 blocks. So you just gotta figure out the spacing that you want, depending on how many racks you have. Figure out the spacing that you want, depending on how many racks you're gonna have. Like I said, I'm gonna have 3, and I'm only gonna make this 4 feet long. Y'all can make it the size of the wall, 2 feet, whatever you like, depending on your needs. Yeah, so me personally, I think I'm just gonna give myself a foot of space. If I want to stack them, you know, they're 1.5 boards. Typically for framing lumber, that's what I'm going to be putting on there. So 1.5 I could stack up to 2, 4, 6, about eight boards high. 3, 6, 9, 1 foot. About 8 boards high. It'll be a little tight, especially if some boards are maybe a little bit wider or warped up or whatever. So maybe I'll give myself an extra 1/2 inch of space. So I'll give myself 1.5 feet actually. All right, so now we move down to the miter saw. What we're gonna do now is take some 2x4s and make all the blocks that we're gonna put to fill up that piece of plywood. So like I said, my spacing in between was 1.5 feet. So I'm gonna get 2 blocks that are 1.5 feet. And then I gotta measure the ends. So I'm gonna cut out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks. We're gonna cut out 3. Like I said, I want 3 racks actually coming out for me to stack my lumber on top of. Those I think I'm gonna make 16 inches long. I could probably even put them 15. I'm gonna make them 16 inches long. They're not gonna stick out too far from the wall and won't really get in the way of anything. You know, the further out you go, the less weight you can put on it. The further out you go, and the more that it, you know, starts pushing into the space that you're working in. So I'm gonna leave it at 16 inches. That's gonna take out, and I'm really only gonna be left with what, 12.5, I believe, because 3.5 of it is gonna go back into the actual structure that you're building. So I'm gonna cut 3 at 16 inches, 2 at 1.5 feet, and then another 2 at whatever the length of the ends that is left. Also, what I'm gonna do is I'm also gonna put a little bevel on all the cuts that I do. That way, once we install this together, you're gonna see what I'm talking about. But I'm gonna put a little bevel on it to actually slope the rack slightly up, so that it's not horizontal. One, it'll hold the lumber a little bit better because it won't be horizontal for whatever reason. Over time, it was to maybe come down a little bit or kind of slouch. It's not tilting back down. Because if you put it level now for whatever reason, in the future, just over time, when you overload it too much, it was to, it starts to tilt down a little bit. Now you risk it having lumber that can slide off, or that, and just tilting it up, it's gonna hold a little bit more weight because now the center of gravity has changed. It's going in towards the actual rack. Put a 5-degree bevel on it, nothing crazy. Also, if you're gonna be doing repetitive cuts here, I'm not doing it, but it's kind of easier if you put a clamp or something for you to just butt your board up against. That way, you're not measuring and everything comes out exactly the same. So just make sure that when you put these together, if you're cutting these at an angle, that you kind of figure out which side it is that's going to be up, and that the angle all faces the same side. because you don't want one going up and then the next one you accidentally put it facing down. Because now whenever you put your rack in place, you got it at an angle, but you got it going the wrong way. One of the racks is tilted down, you know, to where your lumber could slide off or whatever you're gonna put up there. Because remember, the goal was to get it slightly at an angle facing up, but if you put it the wrong way, it's gonna face down. So these are the ones going out, and these are the ones inside. Same thing, it has the same angle, just like that. All I have to do now is figure out the measurement for the top and the bottom. So, I mean, you just put it all together and then go ahead and measure. About 5 7/8 to the short side, 6 1/4 to the long side. What I'm gonna do is just put everything together and then just nail it together. But again, just make sure everything is tight, because that's how this rack system actually works. This piece of wood right here has nowhere to move, and that's how it actually holds the weight of your lumber, because of the block that's above it and below it. It's blocking it from actually moving. All right, so I think I'm gonna use these roofing nails just to tack it together. Maybe some brad nails would be good with a brad nailer. It'd be a lot quicker if you had a nail gun. But I am gonna come back after with a nail gun and shoot it all together. All right, so here's the first one. Again, you just slide these in. And again, it is probably gonna be a little tight, which is a good thing. We want it to be tight. So yeah, so you got your rack. It's slightly angled up, and because of the block that's at the bottom and the top, this has nowhere to go. Now I actually need to nail it in properly so that the blocks don't move. I'm gonna be using these. These are ring shanks. I think these are 2 3/8. So it's about what we have over there, actually. 1.5 inch from the 2x4, and I believe the plywood is 3/8, 7/16, something like that. So adds up to about 2.5. 2.5, and those nails are 2 3/8. So perfect size for this. So let's go ahead and get them nailed. The only thing that I want to look out for is we got to secure these onto the wall, and we're going to do that by using actual like lag screws. We're going to pre-drill holes into the 2x4s, probably somewhere up here and then at the bottom. So we just want to make sure that when we put nails that we try to avoid, because these are going to go all the way through, of course. We want to try and avoid getting kind of know where it is that you're going to drill. I'm going to probably put it, you know, directly in the center. So I kind of want to avoid putting any nails directly in the center here, knowing that I'm going to drill a hole and then put a huge lag screw going all the way through. So anyways, it's actually the next day. The screws that I thought I had, I didn't have. I had them somewhere else, so I had to pretty much, it was the end of the day, it was nighttime. I cleaned up, went and picked them up, and they're actually, let me get them. These are, I believe, some GRK lag screws. They're 8-inch. They're actually bigger than what I need them for. And as you can see, I started diving into something else. So kind of thought about it, and I'm thinking of actually tearing all this down in the future, all the drywall down, and finding ways. So there's already a hole there. As you can see, I made a 4-inch cutout right there where the stud is. I'm actually going to put actually I have this set up right here. This board is actually too big. So we have 3.5-inch stud that we're liking into, and then the stud from the wall at 3.5 inches, that's only 7 inches, and this bolt is 8. That's way too big. And then we have 1/2-inch drywall. It would still be at 7.5. So this drywall is actually not too good. I opened it up. The other side is completely open. I can see the brick on the other side of the wall. People are talking on the other side, cars, whatever. You can hear it. You can tell that the outside is not sealed. Although this is a garage, it's not a living space. It's not sealed the way I think it should be. I mean, this house was built 43 years ago. A lot of stuff that they built back then, you know, wasn't necessarily sealed to the outdoors, and that's what I'm finding a lot now that I'm getting into this house. The doors, I'm fixing those too. A lot of them are out of plumb. This house has had a lot of settling issues. Nothing is sealed, so a lot of bugs, lizards, stuff like that get in. A lot of air escapes. Now, in the garage, it's not necessarily something to worry about because there's no air conditioning in here. But you might get bugs, lizards, cockroaches, other stuff that we just don't want in here. So eventually I'm thinking of tearing this out completely and then putting up OSB. There's not really much I can do from the other side because all that is brick on the other side. If I open it, you're gonna see, all you're gonna see is the brick from the outside of the house. It's not much I can do there. I'm gonna try and see if there's other ways that I can find to seal the house as best as I can from the outside, but I can't actually do work from the outside without, you know, having to remove the brick, which is way too much work. So maybe I'll put some type of insulation in. I don't know. Literally right now, they can probably hear me as well. I can hear the neighbors talking, working, doing whatever they're doing on the inside. Like I said, our bolt is 8 inches, too big for a 3.5-inch stud, which is our actual rack right here, and then 3.5-inch stud from the wall. So what I did is I'm taking out the sheetrock anyways. I thought, I mean, I can see where the stud is. I can literally see all the screws and nails that were installed before. I also have a stud finder. That I can use, but you know, it's going anyways. It's bad. It's pretty loose. I thought I'd just cut out the section and see exactly where the stud is, because I want this to be as strong as possible. I want to make sure I drill a straight hole into the stud and then get this screw in there right in the center, because I want this to be as strong as possible. I already have this set up. I already have a lag screw here at the top and one at the bottom, and they're poking out from the back. All I'm going to do is get it at the height that I want it, put it up here, alright, so y'all can't really see it, but I can. I can look behind this board. The screws are sticking out far enough so I can see where the screws are hitting. So all I'm going to do is basically hit it with a hammer at the top and the bottom where I have the lag screws. Leave an indentation from the screw into the wood, and then just pre-drill a hole right there. Oh yeah. down to, but let me try down here. There we go. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Y'all learned something. Learn how to build your own rack so y'all can put your own wood up there. Maybe you have little projects that you want to do. You have tiny pieces of wood. A lot of what I hold is framing lumber. A lot of people don't hold framing lumber. A lot of people have little project lumber here or there, stuff like this. You know, maybe you'll hold a couple 2x4s, maybe a 2x6. I do a lot more framing, so I'm holding actual framing lumber, 2x12s, 2x6s, 2x8s, long 2x4s. You might just want to put some light pieces of lumber on there. If you're putting light stuff, 1x6, a 1x2, you know, your occasional trim, or a trim board for a window or a door, or tiny projects around the house. This is way more than enough. This is overkill for what you're trying to put on there. Next project here in the garage is going to be our workbench, and I hope y'all enjoyed the video and hope to see you on the next one.